Right, ladies and gentlemen, we are ready to move on with bout 5 this evening. So would you welcome into the cage, Ben Johnston. And now, would you welcome into the cage, Ryan Osgood. This is welterweight amateur mixed martial arts over 3 3-minute rounds of action. And your warriors in the cage, in the red corner, he weighed in at 77.6 kg. He represents the Lockdown Academy, Ben Johnston! And in the blue corner, he weighed in at 77.1 kg. He represents Premier MMA, Ryan Osgood! Your referee, Mr. Sam Amidi.
We have welterweight amateur MMA action from Ben Johnston from the Lockdown Academy in the red corner versus Ryan Osgood from Premier MMA in the blue.
And you can see the height advantage for Osgood at the weight. Grabs the leg of Johnston and takes him straight down, Dean.
Osgood some power in his legs. Been working really hard on those leg kicks and strength and conditioning. And that's paying off today. Big, heavy, punishing shots from Ryan. From
early ground and pounding. Ben Johnston really needs to get tightened up here. Sam Amidi still happy at the moment with the defensive work, but it's big work from Ryan Osgood here, and it's from catching that leg straight off from the back, wasn't it?
Johnston on the bottom, doing the right thing. He's controlling the head, controlling the arms to limit the damage, pulling his full guard. You think about sweeping, can't let him posture up like that. Ryan has got some devastating ground and pound.
Well, there's another problem for him. Look at the length of this man's limbs at the weight.
They'll come from unorthodox areas and at lengths. It's very difficult when you train when they come from the typical angles, you know, so unorthodox people can throw you off initially, and with that huge takedown, it's going to put Ben off of his equilibrium for a while. He's putting his composure quite well on the bottom now. He needs to think about standing up or perhaps sweeping or submitting.
As you said, Dean, to be honest, he's done a very good job of tightening up, hasn't he, and defending, but now he's in problems again from this position, and you can see The rangy Ryan Osgood using those limbs to great effect.
Ryan Osgood, homing beacon, missile sensors on those fists, finding their mark every time. Ben can't sit down there flat, complacent.
Right hand again, Dean, coming through, and then the lefts.
Just to think about opening this guard up, perhaps looking for a scissor sweep, hip bump sweep, or even just threaten a submission, and it would keep Ryan off the game because he's just free to posture up now and rain down punches. Looking to pass, gets the half guard straight to side control, just skipping past that knee.
And you can hear the response to that. To be fair to Ben Johnston, he hasn't had a chance to even get into the round. From the moment that takedown came, Ryan Osgood's been relentless, and I think his choice of action has been spot on as well, hasn't it?
Ben Johnston on the bottom did a great job of defending, locking up that half guard. Ryan on the top now taking the mount.
And again, there's long legs as well as those long arms. It's a tough opening round for Ben Johnston, but he's still here. And Sam Hamidi giving him every opportunity, and rightly so.
Ben's still in the fight here, just trying to work out the puzzle that is Ryan Osgood on top of him. For coming from the Premier MMA, guys, they try so hard and they're so technically brilliant. Some excellent fighters coming out of that camp. And if you'd see Ryan walking out to the cage, you wouldn't think he was such a beast when he got in here.
No, and he's in beast mode at the moment with these rights and lefts. And as you said, from those angles, he can come round traditional guards. Well, big round, you've got to say.
Dominating round for Ryan, very dominating there. Took the fight to the ground, passed at will and landed TKO punches. I'm surprised that Ben Johnston weathered those. He was doing a good job of covering up. He ate some heavy, heavy right hands.
Now, he's still there at the end of round one, and that's all a coach can ask, because if he's still there, you can work on things. How would you work around such a tall man who knows how to use those tools so effectively?
Ben Johnston needs to make Ryan miss, and flurries are not going to be his friend because he doesn't want to clinch up and get taken down and end up on the bottom. So he needs to cut angles, try and initiate some striking. If he goes for the takedown, he needs to put Ryan on his back and do some damage.
To be fair, he had no chance to initiate anything in that opening round, was it? It was the kick, he was down, and then Ryan was in beast mode.
Ryan able to just initiate his takedowns from kicks in the areas. If you're close in a fight and he can get your hands on him, Ryan is a very rangy fighter. He can get his hands on most people inside the cage. So Ben is going to have to gauge that distance well.
So round 2 of 3. And Johnston needs a big round to come back here. And you can see the height difference between the two men. Look at the length of those legs as he chops in that rear leg round kick and then the lead jab.
Ben's tasting the power of those punches. Hey, nice turning back kick.
And it landed to the rib cage.
He's got some good kicks in his arsenal, but he needs to be careful about getting taken down again.
Well, it looked like he went to initiate but was taken off balance, because it's one thing to have those long arms, but I'm impressed with the way Ryan Osgood punches straight through the channel.
Precision punching, worked on his boxing extensively, and it's shown in this fight. Looking for the guard pass here, looked to skip his hips over into side control. It's going to work to mount, pinning his opponent down.
And again, he's got almost the full 3 minutes to do it. This was the problem for Johnston in the first. We were impressed with Johnston's defensive ability, but you wonder how long he can keep doing this.
Johnston pulls the half guard, but Ben with that shoulder pressure, he's got his left shoulder driven into the face of Ben, just keeps him there, and it forces his face away. To escape, Ben needs to turn inside and work sweeps or perhaps get to the guard, but when he's facing the wrong way, it's just not possible.
And again, Ryan, that weight, that height advantage, and as I said, it's one thing to have the tools, it's another thing to know how to use them, but he's always working as well, Dean. Little punches, little movements.
Looking for a stand-up here.
So Ben Johnston, what can he do now from this stand-up again? But watch Ryan Osgood, the punches are straight, he throws them neatly, but Ben, it's a tough job to get inside.
Ben's trying to counter there, but he needs to circle off the centre. He can't stand in front of Ryan like this, because he'll chop at that lead leg just like that and fire shots down the pipe.
Yes, it's a hard night's work for Ben Johnston. And again, that jab again from Ryan Osgood, it's straight, it's through the channel in that chopping rear roundhouse.
Ben Johnston's still in the fight. He's given the nod of approval when he gets hit with a good shot. That was a heavy right hand there. Johnston caught in the tie clinch here from Ryan.
It's been a hard night work for him because Ryan has had the answers to everything he's tried. He's done the right things, and then Ryan Osgood has adapted. He's really impressed me here, Dean.
Ryan's implemented his game plan perfectly, and he beats Ben to the punch. He's always there first with any of the strikes, the punches, the kicks. So Ben's just playing catch up here as he's pinned up against the cage, eats a knee looking for the takedown, but Ryan senses it and stuffs the leg backwards.
Well, this is the thing, this is what we're saying. Every time Ben tries to initiate or react, as you saw there, Ryan drilled the knee in, then got the defensive work going as well. Now a short little elbow as well there from Ryan Osgood. And it's another tough round for Ben Johnston to have to suck up. And another knee to the midsection. Oh, heavy shots. That 10 more seconds in that round, that could have been over, Dean.
Ben turned away there. I don't know whether it's because he was dazed or just didn't like the power punches from Ryan Osgood. Like you say, Malcolm, if that had gone on 10 seconds longer, this fight could have been over.
So third and final round, and one thing I will say in his favour, you look at Ben Johnston in his corner, he's listening to his corner men, he still looks fresh, he still looks very competent. He's taken this well, and he's had to take a lot from a man that's had all the answers to his counters. Here we go again, Dean.
He's got a really powerful frame, but he's backing up, allowing Gosling to come in. That was a big right hand there. Ben is forced to cover up.
Oh, he's eating heavy shots here from those long straight punches of Ryan Osgood. As I said, he's got the tools and he knows how to use them. I'm impressed with Johnston and his resilience, but he's really under pressure here, Dean.
Ryan did a great thing there. He didn't jump the gun. He circled back out. He didn't want to get caught by those counter punches of Ben. He's got heavy hands, and if you get caught with those counter punches, those looping hooks, it could do some damage and potentially knock you out.
For the first time, though, now Ben sucking in deeply. He's felt these. He's been so game, so resilient. And that right, again, it's the length of the arms. It came round the guard, that right hook.
The sheer torque that Ryan gets on those punches, it's like he's got a kettlebell strapped to his fist and he's just firing at his opponent.
It is incredible to watch, Dean, because that was a tight guard and he still came round it.
Some little knees on the inside being traded. Bit of a stalemate in the clinch position, actually. Ryan opts to break off, beautiful uppercut.
Yes, I'm impressed with Ben Johnston and his resilience, but he's against a man that has got the height and reach, knows how to use it. And as you said, though, stays composed. That right hand coming round the guard of Johnston. And here he goes again. Sam Hamidi looking closely at Ben Johnston.
Pouring out with that jab. He's looking to set that right hand up. He'll pour out with that jab to find the target and blast it in with full power.
Well, he's ignoring Johnston's kicks in reply because he's just steaming in with those punches. He knows what he's doing. He's walking his man down. Johnston cut now above the eye from the punishment he's taken.
Johnston needs to start doing something decisive. He needs to throw those looping punches and keep his guard up. He can't afford to be backed up like this and just let Ryan tee off. And
that's what's happening, Dean. He's eating leather now from Osgood. And you really feel for him. You want the bell to ring because you don't want to see him stopped. He's so gutsy. But he really is eating a hell of a lot of shots now.
Just waiting for Ben Johnston to come through with something, a kick, a punch, a shot, anything. He can't just stand in front of Ryan like this.
Well, it's the composure of Ryan as well. He obviously wants the finish, but he's not going all out for it and leaving himself open. And again, the right rocks Ben Johnston, and another heavy right. And you see the man being dismembered now. The knee gives him the first opportunity. Can Johnston turn this on its head from possibly the one mistake of Ryan Osgood? Can he capitalise?
Johnston making up for lost time here. Took advantage of Ryan pulling up that knee in the clinch and got the take. Looking for the mount here. 10 seconds out. Oh, Ryan, beautiful job there. He just swept the hip and the leg away from Johnston. Now we see this position, the favourable position at the end of the fight for Ryan Osgood.
And that was the problem, Dean, for Ben Johnston. As we saw even then when he gets the opportunity, Ryan had the answers.
Ryan Osgood just superior striking, excellent scrambles and sweeps, brilliant ground and pound here. One could say that he's done enough to earn the decision victory, but we have to go to the judges to make it all official.
Ladies and gentlemen, another 3-round war. Please, let's hear it for both men in the cage. But we do have a unanimous decision. Our judges in favour of the blue corner, Ryan Osgood.